And moving on to our fourth speaker, Mr. Dennis Ryan. Dennis has combined the skills and training developed as a special ed teacher, retail sales manager, and professional speaker and workshop facilitator with the passion for discovering how we communicate. Melding his experience, observation, and research, he has developed a program called the Success-Focused Communication Process. This program is designed to provide leaders, managers, teachers, and parents with communication skills to create a positive environment for the individuals they communicate with. Please help me welcome Dennis Ryan. It can be done.
Imagine you're a teacher and every one of your students is empowered. They want to learn. They want to take responsibility for their learning, for their behavior, for their lives. Imagine if you're a business owner, heck, just a manager or a supervisor. Wouldn't it be great if everybody around you and people you worked with took responsibility, were empowered, and could do things for themselves instead of you having to tell them what to do? Any of you parents, once were parents, have parents? What if your children were empowered to be responsible? Yes. Wow. Amazing. For their lives. What if you were empowered? What if you would do the things you know you want to do? Take that next step rather than just, God, I wish I could do that. Or I wish I would do that. Oh, I got too much to do, so I can't do what I want to do. What if you became empowered? Ladies and gentlemen, it can be done. A friend of mine, Steve J., and I, in our garage, we have invented the magic pen. This is the special pen that empowers people. You take the top button and you point it at the person you want to be empowered.
I'm empowered.
And then you hit, not yet, I haven't hit you with the empowering button.
Oh.
Doesn't take much for Mitch.
I am now very empowered.
Amazing. It's this simple device. It's all it takes. It's just to point it, direct it, and press the button and everybody becomes empowered. Don't we wish that were true?
Yes.
And for just 4 easy payments of $39.99, this too can be yours. Well, I'll send you the information on where you can send your checks. Money orders, credit cards, make sure they're covered and they're not closed. I get too many closed credit cards for these. Let me try it again. Okay, I've identified my target. You're empowered. What?
No.
Not? I need a battery. We're waiting for an app. We're waiting for a hack. We're waiting for something that makes it easy. It isn't easy. I'm going to tell you today, it is simple. But like anything else that's of value, it is not easy. And the way you empower others is through that core skill that we all have, but we don't develop, that we don't use to its full capacity. It's called that skill of communication. How many of you drive down the street, or when you were driving here, how many of you saw fitness studios, karate, dance, all sorts of different ones? One every block, at least, if not 2. How many of you saw communication studios anywhere? You didn't see any? You mean communication's not as important as fitness? Not that I'm saying fitness isn't important. It is important. But isn't communication the one way we can relate to people Isn't that just as important, if not more important than fitness? It's through communication that you can empower others. Because it's through communication that you can create an environment that not only allows people to be empowered, you can expect people to be empowered, and almost demands that people become empowered through using communication skills. The Success Communication Program gives you skills that you can use to empower others and yourself. Because it explains why it's necessary to focus your energy, i.e. your communication energy, in the direction of what you want to happen. We have a tendency in this world to focus it, what's happened, what's wrong, what the cause was. Anybody get real excited with a mistake? Doesn't it just get you so empowered? Yeah, I just made a mistake. I feel good. Doesn't work. Look up the synonyms for failure. Look them up someday. See if any of those words empower you to do better. That give you energy. That gives you that drive that I'm going to fix this. They don't. What do? They sap it. They suck it out of you. Now look up success. What are other meanings of the word success, or just plain success? What does that do for you? Can you think of being successful? Does that give you energy? Would it give other people energy? So the first thing is that communication has a direction. It can take you forward. It can push you back. It can hold you down. It can lift you up. So whenever you communicate, understand that everything you communicate has a direction. And when you're communicating with someone, it is taking them in that direction. So when you communicate and you take them backwards, what happens? Do they get excited? Do they get just so excited they want to do everything for you? Are they getting empowered? Let's take a little story here. Sally and Billy are twins. They're playing outside. Obviously, they're not identical twins. It's a joke, but I hate when you have to explain those jokes. They're outside, they're playing, and all of a sudden Sally comes in, and the parent figure is there, and Sally says, "Billy just hit me." And so as a parent figure, you said, "Billy, come in here." So what do we say? "Billy, why did you hit Sally?" So what direction was our communication? Backwards. And what did happen? Did that empower Billy? It empowered him to think of excuses, probably, to get defensive. The only person that got empowered were you as a parent, because now you're judge, jury, and probably executioner. What happens instead? If you ask Billy the question, what are you going to do to cooperate and play better with your sister? Now, is that negative? What did you ask for? You asked for and identified a success. Something that Billy can work towards, that he can feel good about doing. You didn't ask him to be defensive. You didn't ask him to come up with all the excuses in the world. "Well, Sally hit me last week." And it didn't ask him to say, "I don't know." Of course, that's the standard answer for either way. But then that's a starting point. You're moving forward. You're going in a forward direction. So the first thing you need to understand with communication, that you have to be focused in the direction of what you want to happen. Let's say you work in a business and you're a manager. supervisor, owner. And you have this employee that is constantly late. What's the standard question? Why are you late? Now, is that forward or backwards? It's backwards. Because you ask them about what has happened. You're asking them to be defensive, to come up with excuses. And the other thing you just did is you put yourself in the position to having to solve that problem. Because you asked the question. You asked them to tell you why they were late, so what are you going to do when they tell you? My car breaks down every day. Okay, now what? Now you're in that position. Nobody was empowered, because you certainly can't solve that problem. Instead, the question becomes, what are you going to do to get to work on time? You've moved it towards what the success is. You've outlined the success. You've created an environment that is asking them to come up with a solution. Does it work? I'll give you a name of a junior high school principal. He says it even works on middle school boys. Anybody recognize any of those? A few of you once were there. But instead of asking them what the cause of a problem was, she asked them for the solution or what the success would be. And it was absolutely amazing, she said. She didn't think it would work. She thought, that's not going to work. They'll just come up with more excuses. It worked because they started thinking about what they need to do to be successful. It's powerful. And you know, it's common sense. We've probably all done it. We've all asked those good questions occasionally. And we've had success with them. But it's got a little problem. It's common sense, but it's not common practice. Because we've grown up in a world where we're looking for the saber-toothed tiger behind the bush. But we're not in that world anymore. We have to open up and look at what's in front of us. That's where we live. We've got to live in a direction of what's in front of us, not what's behind us. Now, do we want to forget about what's behind us? What is it? We're doomed to repeat it. But we don't focus on it. We just learn from it. We go back and maybe say, hey, was there anything that happened that I learned that's going to help me go forward? So we build an environment with our communication that empowers other people. In fact, we can talk to ourselves the same way. That's how you empower others and yourself, by asking the right kinds of questions that are structured and narrow. Now, what do you want to do? That's a wide open world. Just like I work in a grocery store. That was where I did most of my management. You can go down the aisle where the salad dressings are. Pick a salad dressing. Anybody have any idea how many there are? Anybody look in the salad dressing aisle lately? Yeah. It's 300 plus, and that doesn't count the oil and vinegar aisle. So if you have that wide open decision making, it's too much. We're not designed to handle it. There's too many choices. So when you structure your questions and you ask these questions about success, narrow it. What are you going to do to cooperate with your sister? What are you going to do to get to work on time? It's more specific. Now, what's the next step? What would the next step be? Because obviously asking one question, it's not going to solve everything. If it did, I wouldn't be standing here. I'd be with Jeff Bezos somewhere and on his yacht. It's simple, but it's not easy. What's the next step? The next step is listening. And what you listen for is clues. So you have to actively listen to that person listen to their response to your question. What is their response telling you? Not listening to answer it, but listen for the cues so you know the direction of their question. And then you take that thing and take it back to the forward direction. A lot of them, I remember talking to one of my sons, and he, of course, wanted to take it backwards. He's always had the, well, what do you want me to do? And you're going to get that. So you have to reframe the question and start over again. Is there a simple way of doing it? Is there these words I can give you printed on this piece of paper and you say these words and they'll be empowered? Sorry. That's somewhere with this magic pen. $39.99 for easy payments, and I'll give you that list. No, what you have to do is develop your own personal bank of questions that work for you. You're going to try different ones, and that's the hard part of it. You've got to keep building. Now, I don't have 3 or 4 hours, though. If you want, I can come and talk to you for 3 or 4 hours, and we can talk about all the steps. Because I love to go into businesses, companies, organizations, and explain and run workshops on how to take success-focused communication and empower everyone in the company. Empower students to take responsibility for their education, for their behavior. Anybody try to tell a student or tell anyone to do that? You're now empowered. You're empowered. Does it work? No. You have to create that environment. And there are ways to do it. It can be done. But you have to invest the time and energy. But there is a path. And the path isn't the one we've used. What does that saying go? Try something again and again. If it doesn't work, try it the same way and it still won't work. Other versions. But there is a way to do it, and this is a different way to try. Go forward and look at success. What does it look like? Once you know what you want to happen, then you can easily ask questions in the right way to help other people focus in the direction of success. In your bags, because I love communication, there's a little free thing for you. Anybody have a presentation to do? A workshop or something you have to do? Or a talk maybe before your church or an organization or work? I'll give you an hour free coaching on how to do that better and raise the bar. The other thing, hopefully in the drawing we're going to have later, I'll go into your business organization for 4 hours and we'll analyze it. We'll find a way to take it up and be more successful. And when you're more successful, what happens in your life? Is there less stress? Yes. Less conflict? Isn't it a much better place to live and work when you can focus on success rather than all the failures? Now, how do you do it? Well, I give you a little hint. Hopefully, we'll have a chance to talk again, and I can give you a bigger hint. But you still have to do it. It's no great secret. It's just taking those ideas, putting them together, and focus on the success and focus on what you want to happen. It can be done. You can empower others.